Welcome to Listening Practice. There is a download link below that you can download the worksheet that runs along with this audio from jimmymonk.com. And the exercise is a gap-filling exercise so to improve your listening skills. I hope you enjoy it, and enjoy. Creativity. How to unlock your hidden creative genius. This audio pulls together my most essential information about creativity. I'll share how creativity works, how to find your hidden creativity genius, and how to create meaningful work by learning how to make creative thinking a habit. I've tried to present the basics of everything you need to know to start mastering creativity, even if you don't have much time. What is creativity? Let's dive in creativity. The creativity process is an act of making new connections between old ideas. The creative process. Number 1. Gather new material. At first, you learn. During this stage, you focus on 1. Learning specific material directly related to your task, and 2. Learning general material by becoming fascinated with a wide range of concepts. Number 2. Thoroughly work over the materials in your mind. During this stage, you examine what you have learned by looking at the facts from different angles and experimenting with fitting various ideas together. Number 3. Step away from the problem. Next, you put the problem completely out of your mind and go and do something else that excites you and energizes you. Number 4. Let your idea return to you at some point, but only after you have stopped thinking about it. Your idea will come back to you with a flash of insight and renewed energy. Number 5. Shape and develop your idea based on feedback. For any idea to succeed, you must release it out into the world, submit it to criticism, and adapt it as needed. Is there such thing as naturally creative? While we often think of creativity as an event or as natural skill that some people have and some people don't, research actually suggests that both creativity and non-creativity are learned. According to psychology professor Barbara Kerr, approximately 22% of the variance in creativity is due to the influence of genes. This discovery was made by study the differences in creative thinking between sets of twins. All of this to say, claiming that I'm just not the creative type is a pretty weak excuse for avoiding creative thinking. Certainly, some people are primed to be more creative than others. However, nearly every person is born with some level of creativity and skill, and the majority of our creative thinking abilities are trainable. 3 lessons on creativity from famous creators. The 15-minute routine Anthony Trollope used to write 40-plus books, beginning with his first novel in 1847 Anthony Trollope wrote an incredible pace of over the next 38 years. He published 47 novels, 18 works of non-fiction, 12 short stories, 2 plays, and an assortment of articles and letters. Let's break down why Trollope's simple strategy allowed the author to be so productive and how we can use it in our lives. The weird strategy of Dr. Seuss, used to create his greatest works. In 1960, the founder of Random House Publishing firm challenged Dr. Seuss to write an entertaining children's book using only 50 different words. The result was a little book called Green Eggs and Ham. Here's what we learnt from Dr. Seuss. How creative geniuses come up with great ideas. Best-selling author Markus Zusak estimated that he wrote the first part of his popular book, The Book Thief, 150 to 200 times. His work ethic and dedication tell us something crucial about how creative geniuses come up with their great ideas. You can also check out creative articles about Albert Einstein, Martha Graham, George R.R. Martin, and Maya Angelou. How to be creative. Step 1. Give yourself permission to create junk. In any creative endeavor, you have to give yourself permission to create junk. There is no way around it. Sometimes you have to write 4 terrible pages just to discover that you wrote 1 good sentence in the second paragraph of the 3rd page. Creating something useful and compelling is like being a gold miner. You have to sift through pounds of dirt and rock and silt just to find a speck of gold in the middle of it. Bits and pieces of genius will find their way to you if you give yourself permission to let the muse flow. Step 2. Create on a schedule. No single act will uncover more creative genius than forcing yourself to create consistently. Practicing your craft over and over is the only way to become decent at it. The person who sits around theorizing about what a best-selling book looks like will never write it. Meanwhile, the writer who shows up every day and puts their butt into the chair and their hands on the keyboard, they are learning how to do the work. If you want to do the best creative work, then don't leave it up to choice. Don't wake up in the morning and think, I hope I feel inspired to create something today. You need to take the decision making out of it. Set a schedule for your work. Geniuses arrive when you show up enough times to get the average ideas out of the way. Or recognizing relationships between concepts. Creative thinking is not about generating something new from a blank slate, but rather about taking what is already present and combining those bits and pieces in a way that has not been done previously. Step 3. Finish something. Finish something, anything. Stop researching, planning, prepare to do the work and just do the work. It doesn't matter how good or how bad it is. You don't need to set the world on fire with your first try. You just need to prove to yourself that you have what it takes to produce something. There are no artists, athletes, entrepreneurs, scientists who became great by half finishing their work. Stop debating what you should make and just make something. But don't get serious about it, that you can't laugh it off, mistakes, and continue to produce the thing you love. Don't let judgment prevent delivery. Step 4. Stop judging your own work. Everyone struggles to create great art, even great artists. Anyone who creates something on a consistent basis will begin to judge their own work. I wrote new articles every Monday and every Thursday. After sticking to that publishing schedule for 3 months, I began to judge everything I created. I was convinced that I had gone through every decent idea I had available. My most popular article came 8 months later. It is natural to judge your work. It is natural to feel disappointed that your creation isn't as wonderful as you hoped it would be, or that you're not getting any better at your craft. But the key is not let your discontent prevent you from continuing to do the work. You have to practice enough self-compassion to not let self-judgment take over. Hold yourself accountable. Share your work publicly. Sure, you care about your work. It will hold you accountable to create your best work. It will provide feedback for doing better work. And when you see others connect with what you create, it will inspire you and make you care more. Sometimes sharing your work means you have to deal with haters and critics. But more often than not, the only thing that happens is that you rally the people who believe the same things you believe, are excited about the things you're excited about, or who support the work that you believe in. Who wouldn't want that? The world needs people who put creative work out into the world. What seems simple to you is often brilliant to someone else. But you never know unless you choose to share. How to find your creative genius. Finding your creative genius is easy. Do the work, finish something, get feedback, find ways to improve, show up again tomorrow, repeat for 10 years, or 20, or 30. Inspiration only reveals itself after perspiration.